Okay, so we're going to be using Blockly Arduino editor to write our programs that we're going to download into our Arduino. I'm just going to run through and do the test example, which will test to make sure that we have 3 of our LEDs that we're going to use for the stoplights connected it and working properly. So we're going to basically make them flash on and off. So to do that, once we get into our Blockly Arduino editor, we're going to be looking at our input and output, and we're also going to be using time. So these are the two pieces of the programming suite that we're going to be using. Okay, so to start off with, we're just going to grab our inputs, and we connected up our LEDs. If you were observing where they're connecting to on the Arduino, they were connected up to D2, D3, and D4. Okay, so looking back at the connections, that's right here. If we were to look, here's D2, D3, D4, and if you follow the wires, D2 is the one that connects up, goes through here into the red one. D3 connects down, comes up here through this one for the yellow, and D4 connects through the blue wire, or whatever color you used, through this resistor to the green. Okay, so we're going to test these by writing a program to make all 3 of these blink. Okay, so we're going to go to input and output, and we're going to use digital. And what that will mean is we're going to either input what's called a high or a low. And you can think of it this way. If we use a high means we're giving it power, and a low means that we're not giving it any power. We're just going to think of it in terms like that for now. So what we want to do is we want to make that pin or a port, however we want to call it, we want to make that a high so that we turn on the LED. Okay, so to do that, we're going to use this where it says digital write pin, and then we're going to say which pin we want. I'm going to go with D2 to start with, and we're going to say high. Okay, so when I use just this brick, that's going to make the LED that's red, which is connected to D2, turn on. Okay, and then I'm going to right click. I'm just going to duplicate this 2 more times, and I'm going to change this one to 3, and I'm going to change this one to 4. So I have D2 on, D3 on, D4 on. And when I say on, that's the same thing as saying high. Okay, so here we'll turn all 3 of them on. Now the question is, how long do we want to leave them on? Because what happens is it'll turn this one on, this one on, this one on. It'll do it super fast. The chip processes information super fast, so you won't even be able to tell that 2 went on first, and then 3 went on second, and 4 went on third. You won't even know because it happens so quick. So we'll turn all 3 of them on, and then we'll put in a delay. Now the delay that we'll need is this one. It says delay 1,000. This is in units of milliseconds. So a delay of 1,000 would be 1 second. So I'd turn them all on, wait for 1 second, and then I want to turn them all off. So I'm just going to duplicate these again because it's quicker. And I'm going to again change these to 2. And I want this time to be off or low. Low means the same thing as off. 3, also low. And 4, also low. Okay. And so here's what would happen. It'll start up at the top. It'll do this, then this, then this. It'll wait for a second. Then it'll do this, this, this. Then we want it to wait for another second. So I'll copy this one. And then what happens when it gets to the bottom is it actually loops right back up to the very top again. And it'll just keep repeating this process over and over. If I look by clicking on the Arduino tab, this is the code that it made for us based on the blocks that we put in there. Okay. And if you want to take a look at it, you can kind of try to make sense out of what this stuff is if you want to learn the coding here. So I'm going to copy everything. You can't miss anything. You got to make sure you copy it all. We're going to come over to the Arduino app, which is at this website, arduino.app/pound. We'll click on code, and then you'll see these file folders here. We'll click on those so that we can select project manager. We're going to go ahead and add a project by clicking on the plus symbol, and we're going to give it a project name of LED test. And create. And then if you click on the code up here, we're going to take the code that's currently in this area, press Control A to select all of the text. So first, make sure you click in this area, Control A to select it all. Then you can press the backspace or delete key to get rid of it. And then we're going to paste what we had copied a few moments ago by pressing Control V as in Victor. It'll paste the code that we took from Blockly Arduino. Next, we're going to come down to the board. We're going to click this and make sure that we have the correct one selected. We want Arduino Nano, and we want this to say ATmega 328P old bootloader. And then plug the Arduino into the Chromebook or your computer. Click on this icon right here, serial, and you should see something listed right here if it's plugged into your Chromebook or computer. Click it, and then click connect. Finally, you're going to come to this icon and click on compile and upload. And if all is successful, this will go to 100% and say done. Let's see what happens here. Okay, and then you'll just want to look, verify that the LEDs are in fact blinking. If maybe one of them isn't blinking, check your wiring. But if none of them are blinking, or if this said fail, then maybe come back and just change this to the ATmega 328P and try uploading and compiling it again and see if that does the trick.